Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books and let's just call myself out. I have a huge haul today and I'm going to see if I can fit it all in one video. So that means I will probably go through these a little bit quickly, but I want to haul them, share them with you all. I think I have a lot of fun watching haul videos, even though you don't get reviews and they can sometimes be problematic. I love watching them. I love filming them, and I've got a shit ton of books here to share with you. So all over the place too. We've got all the genres, used, new, but from all over the place. So without further ado, let me just get started. First one the first big one in here is Asterix and Cleopatra. Asterix is a French comic book strip. They've done several cartoon versions of it as well. I recently used this in Asterix in my class to talk about kind of the Romans in modern culture, because it was made in like the 50s, 60s, and it can actually be quite racist and sexist. And the way it handles Cleopatra is one example of how it does both of those things. So let me put that there. Okay, next up. This about a while ago. Most of these books are over the course of a few months. So this is Martha Wells' All System Red. I am dying to read this book. It's super short, and I've heard really good things. And it's about a bot out in space, and it sounds really good. Go along with that, I was just in San Francisco this week, and I bought the rest of the books in the Murderbot series because I just have a feeling that I'm really gonna love it. So let's see, we've got Rogue Protocol, Artificial Condition, and Exit Strategy. So there we go. I bought these in hardcover. This one was only in the paperback, and I'm not one to I don't care about uniformity, and I actually prefer the paperback. But I haven't seen these other ones at my local bookstores, so I don't know. I grabbed them and I felt like, because these are smaller books, I could justify buying them in San Francisco because I was going to have to carry them, and I was like, smaller books, great, I can carry those. All right, next book I bought in San Francisco is Marguerite Duras' The Lover. So Marguerite Duras was a French writer, and she is amazing. I just assigned one of her other books in my class called The War, a Memoir, which is her writing about her experience at the very end of World War II, and she is an incredibly gifted, emotional writer. Like, she has a way of drawing you in to her inner world and taking you with her. It's such an impactful experience to read her. So I picked up The Lover. This one's about sort of semi-autographical. It's in Saigon and talks about the relationship between a French woman and a Chinese lover. Yeah, so this is during the French colonial period, and I thought this might be another one that might be useful in a class. Okay, next up, I picked up With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I really liked The Poet X, and this is such a gorgeous cover. Everybody that buys it automatically points that out. Look at this. It's gorgeous, and I wanted to support her, and I wanted to have this book, so now I do. This one is YA, and I think it's about a teen mother and about cooking, and so I'm really looking forward to it. All right, you need to get through these a little quicker, don't I? I bought Susan Dennard's Truthwitch. I believe it's the first in the Witchlands series, and I've heard a lot of really good things, and I don't know all that much about it other than a lot of people whose opinions I really value have said good things about it, and so here it is now in my collection. I also bought The Everlasting Rose by, who is it? Dhonielle Clayton. So this is the sequel to The Bells. I thought I was going to read The Bells in May, and that's why I picked up the second book in the series. I didn't get to The Bells, but it is on my TBR and it's pretty high, so I want to have the sequel in case I need to jump right into that one. this was a weird purchase. Okay, I was at Barnes and Noble and I had a coupon. I had several coupons, and so I picked up V. Shwab's A Darker Shade of Magic. This is the exclusive collector's edition, and it has a nice little bookmark. Then I also picked up V. Schwab's A Gathering of Shadows in this exclusive Barnes & Noble edition because I thought it was gorgeous. Really gorgeous cover, and that was really it. It was a bit of an impulse buy with coupons. There it is. Next up, I bought the sequel to The Naturals. So I have The Naturals also really high on my TBR, and when I saw this in my used bookstore, I just immediately grabbed it because I have a feeling I'm really going to like it. It's YA murder mystery, I believe, thriller. Is it a thriller? Either way, I have a feeling I'm really going to like it, and so this is a really nice, like, well-kept used copy of it, so I am happy to have that. So that's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. They had another Jennifer Lynn Barnes book on the shelves in my used bookstore. This one's Every Other Day, and I'm not really sure what this one's about, but it was at the used bookstore, and I've never seen her books at my used bookstore before, so as an aside, I just grabbed it because hopefully I'll like it. My used bookstore is also really good about usually having these editions of Agatha Christie in stock. They just got a bunch the other week. This one's Easy to Kill. And so I have a couple of others in this edition, and this was just such a good copy. Like, it doesn't even look red. Like, when you open it, it kind of feels really new. So picked up some Agatha Christie. They also had this copy of Murder on the Orient Express, and I've actually never read Murder on the Orient Express, but this is another one that, like, feels new. Like, it opens up like new copies do, but this is an impress printing of it, and I just thought it was really pretty and just a good book to have. I also bought A Spectacle by Jodie, Lynn, Zdrok, maybe. So this one takes place in Paris in the 19th century, and it involves a murder. So I was like, sign me up. Paris, 19th century, murder. It's checking all my boxes. So next up, I bought Courtney Milan's The Duchess War. So this is one of her historicals. She is an incredible person. I follow her online, and I haven't read any of her books, so I picked up this one. So this is a historical. I also picked up one of her contemporaries. Where did it end up? It's somewhere in my piles. I will get to it. I also picked up The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Hallie Rubenhold. I actually went to her talk at the Ripped Bodice, which is an all-romance bookstore in LA. And I did get my copy signed. But so the big addition that Hallie Rubenhold brings to studies of Jack the Ripper is that she went back into the archives to write about the women that Jack the Ripper killed. And what she found is that they weren't prostitutes. Only one was actually involved in sex work. I think a couple of the other ones had been involved in sex work in the past, but not at the time that they were killed. So that really a lot of us get that history wrong, and that it's really important to kind of correct that because it says a lot about us and our understanding of women and women's lives. Next up, I put in an order at Book Depository, and I got A Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence and Holy Sister. So I already have the first one, Red Sister. And these UK paperback editions are gorgeous. So I just wanted them, and I wanted the paperback. I don't like the hard copies. So yeah, hardbacks. Okay, another nonfiction book. I picked up Burnout, The Secrets to Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Emily Nagoski and Amelia Nagoski. So it's a pair of sisters, and I think I'm experiencing burnout. and it's really easy to burn out teaching. So, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to fully burn out. I don't want to have to quit. And I'm hoping that there will be some really good advice and some really good strategies in here. So yeah, this is actually really high on my to read list this summer. Next up, I bought Women Talking, a novel by Miriam Toews. So I've heard quite a bit of this on Bookstagram, and it's the story of these group of women that belong to a Mennonite community, and it looks like there's going to be a sexual assault, and that the women have to deal with this separately than the men, because the men take a very different approach, and it impacts the whole community, and it basically divides it along gender lines. And it sounds really, really good, and I am hoping that it's as good as it sounds. At the Wit Bodice, I also picked up Beverly Jenkins' Tempest. This, I think, is one of her most recent historicals, and I haven't read a ton of Jenkins, and I really, really want to. And I don't think I'm going to start with this one, but I am glad to have this one in my collection now. This one I picked up at the LA Festival of Books. Pride and Prometheus by John Cassell. It is Pride and Prejudice with a sci-fantasy twist. So it's like merging the stories in Pride and Prejudice and Prometheus. It sounds a little weird, but I am here for all of the Pride and Prejudice retellings. All of them. So I'm going to give that one a shot. Next up is Christina Lawrence, My Favorite Half-Night Stand. So I did get this one signed. Let me show off the signature. I was at a talk that included Christina and Lauren, their writing duo. And the last two books I've read by them, I liked with some caveats. Like there were elements in there that I really, really liked, and then one thing in each of those books that I really, really did not. So I'm hoping this one will be better. This one's about history professors, or at least one history professor, I think, a UC Santa Barbara professor. So hopefully it's not a professor-student relationship, because that would be yucky. Next up, I bought Alicia Ray's A Gentleman in the Streets. I really, really love her. She was such a delight. She was at the Wit Bodice for that talk. She signed my book and told me I was pretty. So what a delight. But I really, really love her. And her book that's coming out this summer, The Right Swipe, looks amazing. Like everybody that talks about it says it's amazing. So gotta read more of hers. Then I also picked up The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. So another one of those fantasy books that people really, really love, and I have a feeling I'm going to go on a fantasy and sci-fi binge this summer. So along those lines, I have Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. So I believe this one he actually offers on his website for free to download, but I wanted the physical copy of it, so I ordered it from Book Depository because I liked their cover better. And it's a standalone fantasy, and several people kind of say that this is a great place to start with Brandon Sanderson, so I thought I would give it a shot. Then I picked up Ursula Le Guin's Lavinia. This is a retelling of The Aeneid. It's one of those classic ancient books. It's the story. It tells the story of the founding of Rome, before Romulus and Remus, and this is a retelling of that through the eyes of the Italian princess that Aeneas marries, and I'm here for all the ancient retellings, so I'm looking forward to that one. Along those same lines, this is For the Most Beautiful by Emily Hauser. So this is a retelling of the Trojan War. Yeah, this one's the Trojan War, and I've really been into these lately. I teach a class on, it's called Classical Civilizations and the Modern World. So I think that is a great fit for retellings, and I'm always on the lookout for new ones that I can recommend to students and assignment classes. Oh, next up, I had to buy this book. And I ordered it from Depository because in the U.S. It looked really expensive. It's a copy of Pride and Prejudice. I know I don't need a new copy of Pride and Prejudice. Like, I already have several of them, but this was just too gorgeous to pass up. So this is the Sisterhood collection. They have a bunch of these classics of like women's writing, and they just did like, oh, here it is. They have Little Women, Heidi, Anna Green Gables, A Little Princess. I had to have Pride and Prejudice because it is one of my favorites. Ooh, more from the Ripped Bodice, a couple more romance books. These are by Sally Thorne. So she was the reason the event was taking place at the Ripped Bodice. I've already read The Hating Game. I read it on an ebook, and so because she was there signing books, I thought it would be a great time to pick up The Hating Game. And then I picked up her latest book, 99% Mine, and I'm really looking forward to it. All right, gotta get through a few more of these. At my used bookstore, I picked up The Age of Empire by Eric Hobsbawm. This is part of a collection of a historical collection of books that aim to tell kind of full history. And so it's a classic in history, and I don't have a copy of it, so when I saw it, I picked it up. I also picked up one more book by Simone de Beauvoir. This one's The Woman Destroyed. This is 3 stories. Yes, these 3 long stories draws into the lives of 3 women. Simone de Beauvoir was a wonderful philosopher, intellectual, and I haven't read any of her fiction, so I am planning on doing that this summer. I also picked up Kathy Reich's Deja Dead from the used bookstore. So it is the story of Tempest Brennan. So Bones, the series Bones, is based off of these books, but it turns out the books sound more interesting. Like, she speaks French in the books. Yeah, they're set in Quebec, so I'm gonna give it a shot to see how that works for me. A couple more, just a few more. I picked up Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. I had a student read this book in my Modern France class, and we did a whole project around it. And it actually got me really interested in Jules Verne, kind of guiding the student through that research. I had several students who read Jules Verne, and one student in particular, like, just was able to tie in his story to like the different historical trends in the 19th century. So now I really need to read it. I also picked up a copy of The Time Machine. I assigned this in one of my classes this semester, and I like having extra copies of books that I use in class, just to like give to students or loan out. And this is actually a really pretty edition of it. All right, last book. I have Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. So this was the Owl Crate. I have one more Owl Crate that's currently sitting in my mailbox. But the key to open, sometimes they'll put them in a separate box. The key to open that box doesn't work. So I'm stalking my mailwoman, who is normally really great. I have a feeling they sent somebody else in. She must be on vacation. But, so Wicked Saints, Owl Crate. Apparently this is like a mystery story with a mystery fantasy. That's all I know. But I have now seen one person who's read it and really, really loved it, and another person who thinks they will like it. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna like it. I love. Oh, look at this. I love mysteries and I love fantasy. So I'm hoping this will be a good mix. It's also YA, so it should be fairly easy to get through. And I think I'm through. I think I got through all of my purchase this. Again, this has been over months, but let me know if you've read any of these books. I really do love hearing what you guys have to say about some of these books. I do move books up in my TBR when you all talk about them in the comments, especially when you give a recommendation for it. So if you have read any of these, please, please, please let me know. And yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.